Hey guys, Steve, your DIY dude here. Gonna be doing some work on our 2012 Ram 2500 6.7 Cummins diesel. The belt tensioner is squeaking, and it's been going on for about a couple weeks now. And just ordered the parts, came in yesterday, and so we're gonna do the repair today. And I'll give you a quick little video on. This is a Gates belt tensioner right here. It's got a nice metal pulley, high quality part, and I also got a Gates belt right here and a Serpentine belt, and you can find the link in the description below. If you purchase it through clicking on those links, I get a little piece of the pie, and so I appreciate that. Yeah, so let's get started. Step one is going to be removing this air box. Remove both of these plugs. Remove this hose clamp. So we're gonna work on taking this fan out. We have 3 bolts, 1 bolt right here, 2 bolts right there, and then we're going to unplug that electrical connector and pull this fan shroud back and then pull that fan out. We got a couple tools from Napa for that 36mm bolt right there that we have to undo. So let's get it done. We have 13mm on this guy. All 3 of these. Go ahead and remove this guy right here. Alright, for this plug, it's kind of a pain in the ass. You got that little notch right there. You got to push down on the back of this side, I believe, to release that, and you just pull it out. I just pull it out with the spare channel locks. So I went ahead to Napa. You can rent these tools. This is a pulley holder, and this is a 36mm wrench that we're going to need to use to get the nut loose off the fan pulley. So when you're removing the radiator fan shroud, you got 3 rivets. You got 1 right here, 1 right here, 1 right there, you got 1 right there, and you got 1 right here, and a 4th one. There's a rivet remover tool you can get on Amazon. I'll include it in the link description below. I don't have one yet, but I will buy one after this project because I'm sick of trying to get these out by a screwdriver and brute force. Typically these aren't supposed to be reusable because they typically break when you try to get them out. this electrical connection real quick. It comes off with the fan, so it slides out just like that. Whoop. And so you want to slide that out before you pull the fan all the way out. Basically what I'm doing is I'm putting pressure on this pulley so it doesn't free spin with the fan. What I wish I would have done is not take the belt off first, let the belt on, because that pulley wouldn't be free spinning like this. There we go, fan is out. If you didn't take your box all the way out, make sure you move the side of this fan shroud away from that. And now, look how much easier that's going to be of getting that freaking belt on and tension pulley off and the water pump out. Oh yeah. This isn't, you don't have to take the fan off for this job, but if you want to save yourself a pain in the ass, that's what I recommend. I think you're going to save yourself hours of headache just by removing that fan, and the frustration of getting that belt on is going to be a lot less. Alright, so make sure when you're in here doing this job, you do a thorough job of checking things. Make sure you're wiggling your pulleys back and forth. There's like a minutest amount of slop in this. I think this just is an idler pulley. Moving back and forth. As you can see, this thing is supposed to be just rock solid. Look at that sucker. It's like an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch of plate in that. That's just ridiculous. So move everything back and forth, make sure everything spins freely. Take a look at your belt. Look at this belt, it has cracks. Can you see that? I got horizontal cracks. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. I can't tell for sure, but look at all those cracks in there. Those are definitely overdue to replace this belt. Started with the idler pulley, went down to the power steering, wrapped it around this one. I don't know what that is right now. Came back around the crankshaft pulley, back down around, went around the AC compressor in the bottom, went up over the alternator, and that gives you enough slack to pull this slack right here. Pull it straight up, move your idler pulley up, and then put the back side of the belt on the idler pulley. That's the way the routing is. So one person can do this. Try to make sure all the belts are lined up before I release. Ah, there she is. Just be careful when you're putting your belt back on. You got this crank sensor right there. My belt was snagged on that, so if I would have started that up and the belt was snagged on that, it could have ripped the belt and that would have sucked. Just make sure when you're putting that belt on, everything's sitting flush on all your pulleys. Everything's nice and clean. All your bolts are tight to spec. And now we're just gonna put the fan back on, put the airbox back on, and fire up, and hopefully she purrs. Our little tip when you're putting your fan shroud back on, there's a couple, I'll show them to you, slots. A couple slots you want to make sure you drop this guy into before you put your bolts on. That slot right there, and this slot right here. So see how the fan shroud sits into that guy? Make sure it sits into there before you go and bolt this thing back up. That'll save you the headache of bolting your fan shroud back to your radiator and then having to unbolt everything to get it back out and into the right spot. So hopefully that saves you the 15 minutes that I had spent doing that crap. So it is freaking cold out. Oh, here you got Central Oregon for you. Oh, it's beautiful. It's not the weather I want to do car work in since I'm from San Diego, but make do with what you got. After you're done getting your fan shroud back on, your fan back on, tighten up your airbox clamp. Make sure you connect your electrical connectors. Pop these guys back on. Nice and snug. Belt looks good.